Thank you for staying with us here on the Entrepreneurial SME, a brand new show that brings you stories of entrepreneurs that are not only doing great things, but also surviving against the odds. Please do get in touch with us on social media. Details will appear on your screen. We continue our discussion with Nontokozo Vilakazi, owner of 3NT Branded. Who's your typical client?
So before, when we were outsourcing, the public was our typical client, and we actually had 80% government clients and 20% private clients for banks, hotels, and quite a few number of corporates. And then when we got into production, then our clientele shifted. So us being in production, then we get to supply our services to the middleman, who then goes to the public to sell their services. So our middle...
Because it's harder to get to the end user, or it's easier to function the way you're functioning?
Because we're a production company, we then we produce for the, what you call...
the buyer?
No, advertising agencies. So we supply to advertising agencies, who in turn will supply the services to the public.
So you're supplying to a guy who then puts up a huge markup on your work to then sell it to me?
That's the idea. But because our prices are so cost effective, they're able to put a good markup and still get to give a standard price.
So then my question still remains then, how do you get to the advertising agencies? How do you market yourself to them? And I'm going to add a second question to that, because it's a very competitive industry. I can imagine there are many other competitors of yours that are getting to these advertising agencies and offering them the same service that you offer.
Yes. So we just do like normal marketing, which is via emails. We're also on social media pages. And we get, because of our quality standard, we get a lot of referrals.
It's been how long now that you're in business?
Since 2014.
That means you would have then experienced 2020.
Yes.
From March 2020
yes.
to the end of 2021. Let's talk about that period. What happened? The COVID period. So
with the shutdown, we obviously had to close shop because we're not essential. We're not considered as essential service. So for the period of 6 months, we were sitting at home, just gaining weight like everybody else. Then we opened our factory just at the end of 2020. So we took that risk and we went in there and opened our factory in October 2020.
In the clip earlier, you spoke about the fact that you were outsourcing a lot and you stopped that when you started buying machinery and you insourced. Now, other business experts will say it's a risky thing to do because some of these things, the things that you insource, are not your core business. How did you get to a point of deciding to insource instead of outsourcing, and does it work better for you?
Looking at long term, you know, I would think production is more an essential than outsourcing. So with outsourcing, anyone can do it. But with production is, you know, is
where the money is.
Yes, is where the money is. Everyone needs production. So the middleman can be not needed at some point, but with production, you can never not produce.
I feel like I was under-answered on the COVID matter, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. You're a very labor-intensive industry. You get to be shut down for a number of months. That means loss of income, obviously, but you still have people to pay. What happened? How did you stay? How did you manage to keep your people and come back and then deal, of course, with your creditors? Because we have to owe people as business people, don't we?
Yes, yes. So with the COVID, I mean, a lot of savings and whatever that was stored at the back of your at the back of your house, or we had to dig all that out and be able to continue with the business. It took quite a while, and we're still actually recovering from the COVID. It's a strain, but we just going through it, day by day, month by month, and we just have to re-strategize for most parts. And as you re-strategize, you come up with new solutions on how to overcome the effects that came from the COVID.
What opportunities lie ahead for you, for 3NT branded?
I look at, being a director of a company that employs thousands of people. That is our goal. That is our mission, to just have a social impact, that we've ever envisioned.
And what is the biggest threat to your future?
The biggest threats would be, your everyday cash flow. When you run out of cash flow, the business can actually close down because there'll be no way to move forward or continue.
And how do you manage that? How do you manage not to run out of cash flow?
So far, it's still a work in progress, especially with the new, with the new location, with the new strategies put in place. We are still trying those out. We are still in the work in progress. But every day looks better. We, being in a new environment and just having, everyday walk-in clients is already, a better way to trade, because now you have walk-in clients, whereas before we used to have, to wait for emails and wait for purchase orders to actually, have orders running in the business.
Thank you very much. And when you become that big company, you come back here, right?
Yes,
you don't go to others. Thank you very much. Well, what do you think about Nontokozo and her business? Share your views on our social media platforms, and let's keep the conversation active. Thank you for watching and participating on the Entrepreneurial SME on Business Day TV. From me, Rams Mabote, and the team, goodbye and God bless.
Telkom Business, behind South African businesses' drive to thrive.